and welcome to NDTV's World Report. Let's begin our news coverage with the Canadian police there, who have arrested 3 Khalistani terrorists, including Pannun's very close aide, Inderjeet Singh Gosal, over firearms-related charges last week. The 3 separatists were arrested during a traffic stop operator in Ontario on the 19th of September. According to authorities, accused were presented before the court in Ontario. This is on Monday and charged with offences including careless use of a firearm, possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose and carrying a concealed weapon, among other offences, is what the police has gone on to say in a statement to NDTV.
Khalistani separatist Inderjeet Singh Gosal had claimed that the RCMP, that is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, had warned him of a threat to his life and had provided him with witness protection level security. He had pointed a finger at India while making that claim. Now, the same man has been arrested by the Ontario Provincial Police, the Highway Security Division. The accusation against him, and he's now been charged as well on several counts related to the possession of firearms, including the possession of a firearm obtained through crime. The Ontario Province Police made the statement on Wednesday, giving no further details but only revealing that 3 people had been charged and arrested in this matter and that their bail hearing has taken place. Inderjeet Singh Gosal has also been arrested earlier on in an incident related to violence outside a temple in Brampton. Brampton is a city in Ontario which is part of the Greater Toronto Area, a place which has a sizable Indian population.
Now, after Prime Minister Modi's meeting with the counterpart Mark Carney in June this year, it's India and Canada that seem to be set in order to take another decisive this is a step towards normalizing the relationship in the form of a likely visit that's expected next month to New Delhi by the Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand.
In another indication of the improving ties between Canada and India, Canada's Foreign Minister Anita Anand will be visiting New Delhi in October to meet her counterpart S. Jaishankar. She will also visit China, giving an indication that the overall aim of this visit is improving trade ties and trade diplomacy in the Indo-Pacific region. But for Canada to effectively access the Indian market and vice versa, it is important that the 2 sides are able to iron out their differences over the issue of security. Hence, the friction over the issue of Khalistan separatist elements getting a free hand in Canada becomes essential to tackle. There have been 3 important moves in this direction over the recent past. The first, a meeting between the national security advisors of the 2 countries in New Delhi. Secondly, the arrest of 3 Khalistani separatists recently over the issue of weapons possession and careless use of firearms, including the use of a firearm or having in possession a firearm attained by crime. And this included the arrest of Inderjeet Singh Gosal, a Khalistani separatist here in Canada. And thirdly, a report by CSIS, which is the Canada Security and Intelligence Agency, that has recently in its report acknowledged for the first time that Khalistani separatist elements were using the Canadian soil for fundraising and planning violence primarily against India. On the other hand, in another move, the Canadian and the Indian side have restored their senior-most diplomats in each other's country, which means that the Indian High Commissioner to Ottawa is now very much in Canada and today officially took charge, that is on Wednesday, took charge officially by presenting his credentials along with 5 other diplomats. The credentials were presented to the Governor General, and Governor General Mary Simon said that diplomacy has changed a lot since she was an ambassador at the turn of the century, but one essential element remains intact, that is building bridges or repairing the bridges through dialogue. very symbolic of what India and Canada are attempting at the moment. In Vancouver, this is Maha Siddiqui for NDTV.
Now, the latest in a series of remarks from US officials on Donald Trump's tariffs on India, Energy Secretary Chris Wright has gone on to say that he is a huge fan of India, calling the country an awesome ally of the United States. However, he also said that India is buying Russian oil. While responding to a journalist's questions during that press briefing, Wright went on to say, "I'm a huge fan of India, it's an awesome ally of America, but it is also buying oil from Russia. We want to end the Ukraine war, and I also believe," that's what he said, and I'm quoting, "that he believes that India also wants that. America wants nothing more than to expand energy trade with India." Well, he also went on to state that the US is looking forward to more energy trade with India. However, he has raised concerns that India is caught up in the middle of another issue, hinting at New Delhi's Russian oil purchase, over which President Donald Trump imposed that additional 25% tariff as penalty. Here's his reaction.
Russia trying to find peace in Ukraine is a sticky thing, and we are both within the cabinet in the United States and with our allies trying to find the most creative ways to get this war to end. The President wants nothing more than this war to end, and it would have the additional benefit of removing a source of friction. I am all in on energy cooperation, trade cooperation with India. I think there's a bright future there, but somehow we got to figure out how to work together to put the maximum pressure to bring the war to an end.
And US President Donald Trump says that he was a victim of a triple sabotage at the United Nations day earlier, where an escalator, teleprompter and a microphone all failed to work for him. First, the escalator came to a screeching halt with Trump and his entourage on it, an event that Trump called absolute sabotage. Second, there was Trump, who said that his teleprompter went stone cold dark during his address to the United Nations. Thirdly, it was Trump who went on to say that the sound was off at the United Nations as he spoke, and that people could only hear his remarks if they had, someone to interpret what he was saying into the earpieces. Now, Trump said that his wife Melania told him that she couldn't hear what he was saying. Israeli military continued to pound northern Gaza with airstrikes in the early hours of Thursday morning, and Israel has gone on to say that its offensive is aimed at destroying Hamas and freeing hostages taken during the attack that started the war. Now, after Hamas-led militants that attacked Israel on the 7th of October 2023 killed 1,200 and abducted 251 people to be precise, Israel responded with heavy airstrikes across Gaza and a ground invasion. In the fall of 2024, it was Israel largely that sealed off the northern part of Gaza, including Gaza City, launching major ground operations and heavily restricting humanitarian aid as well. In other news, India has carried out the successful launch of intermediate range Agni Prime missile from a rail-based mobile launcher system. This next generation missile is basically designed to cover a range up to 2,000 kilometers and is equipped with various advanced features. The first of its kind, this is a launch that has been carried out from specially designed rail-based mobile launcher that has the capacity basically to move on rail network without any preconditions, basically that allows users to have a cross-country mobility and launch within a short reaction time with reduced visibility. Russian state media has said that Russian servicemen struck a power substation that supplied Ukraine's military-industrial complex and workshops at the motor plant. Now, this is a motor plant that is one of the largest manufacturers of engines for Ukrainian aircrafts and industrial gas. And this is after the collapse of the USSR. The company continued to actively cooperate with Russia. However, after the 2014 coup, this took place in Ukraine, in the capital Kiev, that banned all military technical cooperation with the capital of Russia. And now let's talk about India-Russia that forge a future. As far they really are forging into the future in space with giant 3D printer, India and Russia are joining forces in the advanced 3D printing for space and nuclear applications. A massive electron beam, this is a 3D printer that showcased in Moscow, will soon be arriving here in India. It prints and takes out titanium parts, including rocket engine components, marking a new chapter in Indo-Russian collaboration. And with that, we're slipping into a short break.
Largest electronic beam 3D printer in Russia. Very soon, similar one will also be shipped to India. Let's walk inside. Here you see it's an electronic beam printer. It uses titanium or other wires for printing using an electronic beam. And parts like this can be made from this using 3D printing. It not just does 3D printing, it also does welding. India and Russia are partnering on this 3D printing technology, and Rosatom additive technologies is an integral part of that. Here you see there are several parts which have been made. Interestingly, this is a part of a rocket engine, and very soon this will be shipped to India. The Indian Space Research Organization is partnering very heavily in this 3D printing technology. Russia is a master of 3D printing technology, and now India and Russia will together do 3D printing. Titanium wires and products like this made in Russia and also made in India. India and Russia are old friends, and this will help forge and weld the partnership even more. With camera person Gauri Prasad inside the Rosatom Additive Technology Center, and very soon this machine will also be there in India. In Moscow, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.
Let's get you the latest as far as the US president is concerned. Now, it is Donald Trump who's expected to sign a deal following whether it's going to allow TikTok to continue its operations in the United States. And that decision is going to be coming about today. The agreement described by the administration as a qualified, this would meet the requirements as far as the US law mandating TikTok's Chinese parent company to sell its American operations or face a ban. And let's just also get you more news coming about. And this is in regard to India versus West Indies, a test squad that is out. And we have Ajit Agarkar announcing that the Indian squad, that Shubman Gill will be leading the way, with Jadeja will be the vice captain. The IPL will find this is going to be a radical shift as far as the Indian Test team is concerned. And we have Dhruv as well as, we also have others who are going to be in the match as well, which are, we have Dhruv basically who will be the wicket keeper. So those are the announcements that have come about at the moment. And singer and songwriter Rihanna, who has embraced motherhood again, and the singer has given birth to her third child, a baby girl. The love on the brain singer, 37-year-old, has welcomed her third baby, Rocky Irish Mears, with rapper Rocky. And of course, the People magazine has gone on ahead and shared the news on Instagram as well, posting the first few pictures of her little one. The baby was born on the 13th of September this year, but the news of the baby's birth was shared by Rihanna on her Instagram just today. Rihanna could be seen holding the baby, who was wearing a pink onesie. She also included a photo of her with pink gloves, which had ribbons lacing them up the top.